Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're talking about Resident Evil Resistance, formerly known as Project Resistance. So this is a pack-in title, just to put that out there, that comes with Resident Evil 3 and at this current time cannot be purchased separately. Now, there was a lot of people wanting it to be available separately for a cheaper price, and that might come to be in the future, so that might be something you might have to look into your own volition down the road if you're looking at this video after the game's released for a while. I personally, in that camp, don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. If it does, it's likely going to happen when the game's physical version starts dropping in price, after a few months and it starts hanging around like $30 and less and such. Around that time, I wouldn't be too shocked if it becomes a separate digital download you could get then. But at this moment, because the strategy, I would say, with the way they're bundling the two together, because Resident Evil 3, this video is not going to be talking about it because I haven't played it yet, but lots of people have said you can beat it within like 6 to 8 hours, so the idea seems to be obvious to try and justify a full price tag by combining the two. So that's why I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But if it does, it's likely going to happen when the price goes down. So let's get into it. So Resident Evil Resistance, off the bat, is one of those type of games that is not homage to the main franchise at all. So what it is if you played games like Dead by Daylight, it's a evil versus good team. You have the mastermind, which is by themselves, versus a team of 4 survivors. Now, it has kind of a Dungeon Dragons kind of dungeon keeper kind of thing going it. Because what you do as the mastermind is you have cameras through 3 areas on multiple locations, and you hop between these cameras and use a deck of cards. Now you have a bioenergy meter that goes from 1 to 10, and your cards cost a so much of bioenergy. So your bioenergy slowly regenerates, so you'll be able to pick different cards, and you can summon different types of zombies you may be familiar with. Cerberuses, poisonous zombies, armored zombies. You can also get the plant zombie that was recently in the Resident Evil 2 remake to spawn. And there's several special zombies I haven't even unlocked yet. You can get a liquor eventually. And then each mastermind, there's currently 4 masterminds, each have a few special extra cards that are only in their field of specialties, along with a special bio weapon. Like Daniel, who was in the beta, he gets Mr. X from Resident Evil 2 Remake. And you also get Annette, who uses William Birkin's G-Virus to do a lot of destruction through the game. So the idea of the game, when it comes down to it, is a numbers game. Unlike Dead by Daylight, where the killer is trying to get the 4 survivors killed and sacrificed before they can escape, the survivors can die and will die multiple times, likely through their progression through the 3 areas they have to go through. When they die, they respawn at the beginning of that particular section area they're at. So what'll happen is they lose time, anything negative that basically happens to them, and they gain time for basically anything positive that happens to them. So the idea as the mastermind is basically to consume their resources and cause as much destructive to their time limit. You can end up in the final room with like just 2 minutes to like 10 minutes. I've had varying amounts of time depending on the skill and the ability of multitasking the mastermind has against the group in that. And each mastermind really kind of has a specific kind of play style I mean, you can switch them up, but I mean, like Spencer, the last mastermind you unlock, really encourages using like guns and that on the cameras more than an army of zombies. Where Daniel is more about like controlling the zombies, and you get to control your bioweapon, and you also can hop into most types of zombies, not all of them. Like you can't type into Sorblesses or the Ivy monsters, but most zombies you can jump into and control and do grab attacks and slashing and that. See, Daniel will encourages that kind of play because he actually gets Ouija and can actually buff them by controlling them and that. So there's a few different unique ways to play each mastermind, and then each one gets a few different play styles. Now, on the mastermind loot, to make the decks, each mastermind has a set of cards that unlock when you unlock them. You have to get the rank 5 to unlock the next mastermind, and doing that will get a few of the base cards basically become available to all masterminds, and then you have to level them up to give you access to other cards that will become available to all masterminds. But like I said, they also have their own unique cards that no one else gets access to. So you're kind of encouraged to play all the masterminds to get access to all the cards that you can change out in your deck. Also with the mastermind, if you're going to go mastermind heavy on this, is presets. So presets are editing the different areas where you want the stuff to appeal for each task. Now the tasks are always the same in area 1, 2, and 3, but the location and where they are in each area can vary that. So in the forest area, the survivors have to collect 3 key items to open the door. You can move the key items around through the preset editor, and you can also have some preset zombies, doors locked, and traps placed about. And it gives you a pretty decent amount of locations you can put shit. So you can get creative on what you have as a starting base to build upon. You can either like stack it all early in the map or split it out. You can get a few different strategies, and of course it depends a lot on your masterminds and that. And you can set up a few multi-presets if you like hopping around between different masterminds in that regard. But first area, you get 3 key items. The second area, they have to find a security zombie that has a key card, get the key card from him, and then find 3 panels to use the key card on to unlock the door and get to the door. And then the final area, they have to destroy 3 bio capsules, then get to the final door, pull a level, and wait for it to open up. Once open, they can leave. They can either wait for everyone to get there and leave together, or they can leave by themselves, abandoning their other teammates. Mastermind is pretty fun, but one of the things I think, especially if you're getting into it now, that's going to be annoying with Mastermind, is a lot of survivals at this point, or averagely, like when I'm playing, I see averagely between 15 to 40 with a loss. Ooh, excuse me. With a lot of survivals. So I'll probably generally see like 3 of the people be decently ranked up survivals with maybe 1 or 2 low level ones. And that can cause a lot of problems when you're a new mastermind. Because I think in a Warsaw case scenario than Dead by Daylight, you unlock, you have killer slots and stuff that put perks on both the mastermind and the survivals and that. And those are unlocked as you rank up. You get access to more different ones that you can customize, and then you have equipment which determines the quality of those perks. Most perks generally have 3 levels. So, and obviously the higher the level, the more it costs. So it becomes an issue of getting those all unlocked and getting the perks you want through the chest system. Now, they're basically loot boxes, but it's not a money system. You use an in-game currency system to open up the loot boxes, so you don't buy them, at least at this current time. That's probably kind of important to point out since several games like that Crash Bandicoot Racing remake have insorted money transactions after its release. So I guess it's best to be sure just to make that clear at this time. You can't buy anything like that. Now there is something you can buy with money. They called RP, and they basically help you. They help you level up faster. And personally, I don't really see why somebody would really pay for that. But I've seen worse things on mobile phones that people pay for. So, but you can get RP for free during the game. You get a few, and people who got the game early after the last patch actually got 10 free ones upon logging in. When the game came out, there was some queuing problems with Mastermind. It's a lot better now. Occasionally, I still have to wait a little while. But, I mean, when this game first came out, I was waiting like 40 minutes plus, still never getting a Mastermind match. Now I usually wait between... Sometimes I'll get one in about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and at worst about 10 minutes. So, they have gotten that worked on better. But still a lot of progress. There's still some connectivity issues that hopefully they'll continue working on that. So on the survival front, you work as a team of 4. Again, you have unique perks and traits. Now, unlike Dead by Daylight survivals, each survival has a unique tool set. And what's nice about between Mastermind and the survivals, they're 4 unique abilities that they have a secondary thing they can learn, and you can switch between those two. And that adds a little extra customization to your variation of your Mastermind or survival. But just like the Mastermind, the survivals also have 4 perk slots where they can input different perks to give them advantages in combat, buying cheaper stuff, start with things, break doors faster, and that. Now, the Mastermind can turn lights, lock doors on you, trap you in foot traps, activate explosions, shoot at you. I mean, they can equip the damn grenade launcher on their camera. So, as a survival, you're able to disable cameras by shooting them or being June. No, January. Her name was January. January can actually disable and increase the cost of the Mastermind's cards. So she can be very annoying if there's one in your particular match. But recently, they added Jill as a new survival, which I think was nice. My big criticism with the different survivals, the tool sets and everything is all fine, but I think it was weird. They chose a bunch of teenagers that look like they got whipped out of a Friday the 13th movie. I mean, there are plenty of Resident Evil characters, because I mean, like, this is clearly a non-canon game. There's no real story here. I mean, fuck, Anit is dead, Spencer is dead. Like, we got masterminds who aren't even alive anymore, nor make any sense for them to be in this situation, or how they would be in this situation. It doesn't make sense. So there's no real reason to be like, oh, well, they're dead or something. It's clearly non-canon, so it's no real need to worry about that. I mean, you have a Bravo, an Alpha team, bazillions of side characters, Outbreak. I mean, it just... I don't mind having some young characters. It just seems weird they're all just a bunch of teenagers, except for Jill, who was added recently. Hopefully, if they add more characters, there's going to be another mastermind added, which most people think will be Nikolai from Resident Evil 3, and he will probably use Nemesis as his bioweapon. But if they do continue making more characters, I hope they just expand adding pre-existing Resident Evil characters, unless they're going to really put a little more thought into some new characters. But, I mean, I'd say they already got their new characters, so I'd just say at this point, focus on bringing other characters into that. But That's just a aesthetic thing now. Overall, I think with survivals though, they need to focus on a lot of teamwork. Well, in Dead by Daylight, you can kind of just run on your own and shit, and if you know what you're doing, you can have some survivability by yourself or do all of that. I feel like when you're going up against a good mastermind, that's very important. The team needs to stick together and focus down cameras and things. Like when I play Mastermind, that's usually the people I have the most trouble with. The ones that just all aim for the camera, shoot it, take it down, get things, move together as go, stun lock shit as much as possible in that. Because when you split up, while splitting up, Mastermind has more trouble being able to slow everyone down. You also leave yourself vulnerable to being mortared. So there's a lot of different ways. Like I've seen groups split into two and things, and some successful, some not. It just all depends on different elements in the game. Similar to Mastermind, the same can apply to Survival, where if you're a bunch of low-ranking survivors against a high-ranked Mastermind, you could be in some serious trouble, because without all your extra perks and that, you could get overwhelmed by the Mastermind. I mean, I've seen Masterminds who have preset liquors right at the beginning, take over a zombie, one in just while you're getting your starting equipment, and just start immediately killing you, like, really fast and stuff. I've had that happen about 3 occasions on low-level teams, and it can be annoying. So, unlike Dead by Daylight that tries to encourage matching people of a similar rank skill, there isn't that in this game, and it doesn't, at its current design, it wouldn't be possible, since every character has their own rank. So your skill level could technically still carry over to a lower rank character or something. Well, Dead by Daylight has your rank associated to just survival and killer. There's a rank associated with each individual mastermind and survival in this game. So doing a system like Dead by Daylight wouldn't be as simple to do, but I feel like something like that kind of needs to exist. So you're not having these teams that are decimating each other on one side or another. I also really don't like how like what I just described with the masterminds, like just immediately going into. I think there should be like in that starting zone until they leave, it doesn't start. Like, you can maybe set up shit outside, but I don't think you should be able to cross over until they open the door or something. I think something like that would have been a little better, because sometimes some people really do bum rush the hell out of new people really bad. It can be ouch. But overall, I do like this game, but as I said at the beginning, this is not a traditional Resident Evil game. This is outside of its comfort zone. It's not tank control. It's not like Resident Evil 2 remake. It's not. It has no story or anything really. It's just a crazy scenario. What if these crazy people were experimenting on these people through these environments, kind of thing. I kind of like the idea as a side game in that. I really hope they build more on it. I even hope they could come up with some other ideas with the game engine. Like, imagine the idea used for like a Dungeons and Dragons-esque type game, where the mastermind would be a dungeon keeper summoning in skeletons and shit, and you could have 4 people playing like medieval, D&D like characters or something. I think there's some interesting ideas they could do with what they developed here if they were to abandon Resistance. I think it would be interesting to maybe carry on with an idea with that. Though I don't want them to abandon Resistance. I like the game, but of course it's not going to be for everyone. If you're a variety type gamer, you might be interested in it, especially if you play like Dead by Daylight. a lot of people who play by Dead by Daylight have really jumped over to playing this. I think a lot of them are hoping this is successful so they can just stop playing Dead by Daylight, because that's where they get all their views. But I don't think it'll necessarily be everyone's cup of tea either. I'm sure those people who play Dead by Daylight that probably won't like this game either. But yeah, if you're looking for a traditional Resident Evil, whether it be the third person or the tank control games, you're not likely going to like this game in that regards. It's multiplayer only. It does not have an offline mode or off-screen mode or anything, so there's nothing to look forward in that sense. It's online only. It is on Steam, PS4, and Xbox currently. Probably no plans on Switch, but hey, who knows? They put some other little crazier shit on Switch that I find hard to believe. But if you're into trophies, achievement type stuff, this does feature a platinum. I got about almost half of them so far, so they're not generally insane. There's a few that are a little difficult. Luckily, I got a few of those, but I could see a platinum not being too batshit crazy in this one, but it obviously depends on your skill level for playing both sides of that. But if I was to price this game by itself, I would say Resident Evil Resistance is like a $30 game at the current moment, because there aren't a lot of maps and locations or characters. Over time, maybe if they add, like, let's say maybe from a year now, they add maybe 5 more survivors, 5 more masterminds, and add some maps, and maybe sell the game as a standalone in that way or something. Maybe that can be a little more justified for a higher price, but with the few locations you have, and sadly similar to Dead by Daylight, some that I got sick of with Dead by Daylight is they just never really did anything too new with the maps. It's just always with gens, open gates, get the fuck out. Like, it would have been nice to have a few different goals on a few different maps, and I really hope they take that kind of idea in consideration if they do add more maps, because I feel like just doing the same 3 things in area 1, 2, and 3 is, even if they add more maps, will get old. So, but I do enjoy the game, but I don't really feel like, especially in its current low amount of content and still having some connectivity issues as a mastermind, but they're getting some of that panned out. Like I said, they had an update recently that's made it more possible to fucking queue up as a mastermind, because a lot of people had so much trouble with it. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But it's hard to justify $60 for this, because as I said at the beginning, you can only get this with Resident Evil 3 Remake. There's no standalone currently. So it's a full-priced bundle, so there's no other way to get this but the $59.99 until sales start happening, which there have been a few at $49.99, and I'm sure by Black Friday this will probably be like $30. Maybe a little low, maybe a 25 game. I mean, a lot of people have been bashing Resident Evil 3 being really short and disappointing compared to Resident Evil 2 Remake, so I don't know, maybe you could get lucky and get lower. I think it's a good $30 value. So, obviously, that's not an option, sadly, right now, but that's going to be a subjective until a sale happens, so but anyway, I definitely recommend checking it out. So if you feel like you learned anything interesting in this, please feel free to leave a like, and if not, feel free to leave a dislike. You're free. Till next time.
We made it! We actually made it! Do you know the chances against that happening? I calculated them earlier. I could
どうだった？私の作った朝ごはん。